I had a mentor once who said, if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. I don't know if that's completely true, but in this video, we're gonna unpack and explore how to have fun at work while still being productive. My job is to work with some of the coolest companies and universities on the planet to help make connection and engagement really easy. And a lot of times that involves some elements of fun. And so in this video, I'm gonna share 3 really practical fun strategies that you can immediately steal and adapt to your own context. This video is gonna be also a little bit different. I'm gonna break from my typical format a little bit. I hope you enjoy. Without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1, right off the bat, crowdsource your fun. And what I mean by that is, if you're leading a meeting and you're trying to create something fun at work, what you think is fun may not be fun for everybody else. And so my invitation is, if you want to make work more fun, but also make it more productive, involve what other people think is fun. So somebody might think playing guitar is really fun. Somebody else might think bowling is really fun. Somebody else might think reading is really fun. And so what I would do is, if you want to make work and involve more fun, weave more fun into your work, crowdsource it. Very simply, at your next meeting, ask everybody to write down on a sticky note what is fun for them. What do they like to do for fun? And maybe 3 sticky notes. What do they like to do for fun? And if you're meeting virtually and you're working from home and you're wanting to weave some more fun and engagement in virtually, have people write those sticky notes down, and in 3 rounds, hold the sticky notes up to the camera to share what they think is fun. Take screenshots each time this Zoom gallery view or whatever video platform you're on. Take screenshots of what people think are fun and think about how you can weave in what they think is fun into work. So if somebody loves reading, you might suggest that instead of the next person giving a PowerPoint presentation, they prepare something for people to just read through quietly and then discuss afterward. So really simple strategies to kind of weave that element of fun in. Level 2 of that would actually be, once people hold that up, say, hey, can you actually figure out in our next Monday meeting how to somehow weave guitar into our meeting in a way that connects to purpose and allows us to connect to each other and have fun. You know, there's 2 acronyms for fun. One is functional understanding, not necessary. And the other is functional understanding, needed and necessary. So for some people, the idea of frivolous fun is not actually fun. They're like, I'm at work for a reason, let's get down to business. However, if it's something that they love to do and they're leading the charge on that fun, they're gonna be much more likely to actually enjoy the experience. And as human beings, we love to share what we love. And so if you've got a team that has filled with interests and hobbies and passions, etc., when you invite them to sort of do a share and tell or a show and tell and invite people into that world at their own discretion, it often ramps up the fun for everybody in the group, especially that person. That person feels really seen, heard, and understood, and that's fun to feel seen, heard, and understood. Strategy number 2, mix and match your format. If you meet on Zoom every single day, every single week, or if you go to the same conference room every single day, every single week, that is going to eventually get very boring, right? Even if you think that bowling is really fun, if you bowled every morning, afternoon, and night, at some point, it would probably not be fun, right? And so too much of the same thing becomes really, really monotonous. And so mix up the format. Google is famous for having conference bikes, these very expensive 10-person bikes that people sit around and all can talk to each other while they're pedaling and moving around. I wouldn't necessarily recommend getting a conference bike, but the idea is mixing up format. So another way to mix and match is to break out format is to go on a walk. So I'm gonna share this idea with you while I take you on a walk. I know we've been stuck in this little portal for so long in all my YouTube videos, but we're breaking free. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna take you outside. Really great way to have fun and engage people is very simply to get out of your context. Oh my goodness, going out of of the office. The baby might be sleeping. Shh. Get out of your context. Invite people to get off Zoom. Go out of the conference room. Maybe grab a pair of headphones and invite people to leave their current context, go on a walk and talk, have people listen to a podcast, and then come back and discuss it. Do something that invites people to leave their context. Because this is the moment that you change environments and you're in this place, something different happens. Well, I walked outside without shoes, so I'm gonna go ahead and hold off walking on the grass, but you get the idea, right? Giving people a little bit of prep. If you've got a podcast that relates to the retreat you're having or the conference you're having, something like that, really cool idea to be able to connect. Grab a pair of headphones, go on a walk and talk, or even if you want people to connect, you might send people a series of 3 to 4 questions over email and then invite people to go on a walk and talk and call one another and just have a quick discussion. Something really useful, again, about mixing up that context. Going on a walk and talk, if you're used to always meeting on a screen, is very useful. Bonus tip on how to create some fun, especially if you're working from home, invite people to take you on a bit of a tour of their space or to show you something from their space. So here's some bonus behind the scenes. Thanks for watching to this point. When I film videos, sometimes I change shirts. So there are bunches of shirts that I've been changing into today. Here is not my shirt. This is little guy's, little Otto. Whew. Wow, lots of stairs. Okay, ready? Back to the YouTube. Whoa. And we're back. Part of the value of getting out of your context there is the unstructured connection. You know, things have been invented over dinner conversations. Things have been invented over long lunches. Collaborations and partnerships have been formed after work hours on the walk to the train station. Creating unstructured time. You know, I worked with a startup for a little while that every single day at 4 p.m., they had seen the startup in Europe that actually had chains attached to the desk, that at the end of the day, the desk literally rose up and prevented people from working anymore. And so the startup took that idea and said, every day at 4 o'clock, I don't care how dire or urgent what you're doing is, take a break and go to this room and play. And there was, in true startup fashion, there were a fun-colored room with ping pong balls and ping pong tables too, food and all sorts of stuff for people to just engage with in an unstructured time. Now that doesn't work for everybody, right? Sometimes adding some structure is really useful, but making sure that you are building in structuredly unstructured time for people. Strategy number 3, last but not least, scripted joy. Huh? What I mean by that is look at your work week, think about what you need to get done, and script in some joy regularly. And here's a couple examples of that. For me personally, I record and share these YouTube videos because I have lots of ideas in my head and I work with all these organizations and have all these conversations, seeing people do brilliant things, and I want to share it with the world because I believe information is free. It brings me joy, right? Administrative work that I do Monday through Thursday might not, but on Fridays, I have scripted in joy. Every Friday is completely time blocked on my calendar to record. And there's such a joyful process in that creation that happens. Now, does that bend sometimes? Do I take a meeting on Friday if I need to or something? Sure, but I make sure that joy is scripted in every single week. And there's something, even when it's actually feels hard and not joyful, if I can push past that creative hump or that writer's block or video block, joy flows. And so invite your team, invite individuals to script in joy. Find out what does bring the group joy and script that into your schedule. As a team, decide how you're going to script it into your schedule. I would not recommend, as a leader, scripting in joy for people, because that doesn't work. But again, if you lean on strategy number 1 of crowdsourcing that fun, when you crowdsource it, you get people's ideas, then invite people to script it into the daily schedule. We're really good at keeping a schedule, right? We go to our calendars, and if this is on the calendar, if this meeting's on the calendar, we show up. If you have a meeting set with joy and 5 of your teammates are invited, you know that that time is intended to do something fun that's could be connected to work or could be not connected to work. And that's one really important idea from all of this, is that when you balance fun versus productivity, there's a term in psychology actually called cognitive loafing in the creativity and innovation research. And cognitive loafing is literally taking a darn break to not be doing something constantly. And so it's really useful to actually just take time to have the functional understanding, not necessary type of fun. If you've watched to this point in the video, I trust that it's been fun. And so I'd love to know for you in the comments below, what are your challenges, or what compelled you to watch this video? Or even better, what ideas on how to spark fun while also balancing productivity do you have in your own context? I am going to personally make sure that I am responding to comments here. And so if you've got a challenge or a question based on this video, or you want to know more about something, leave it below, and I'm going to be really deliberate about catching up with people as comments are left. It was awesome hanging out in cyberspace with you for a little bit. If you liked this video, you will totally love these videos. I should really figure out where these videos live, but you'll like them. Have an awesome day.